deadlines or you're having deadlines that you're unable to meet, those things stretch you. I'm telling you, the experience can be so sometimes traumatic, I should say, that you tell yourself, look, once I'm done with this, I'm done. Okay? One of my friends took a loan for the organization. They wanted to acquire a property. He took a loan, and it was a friend, a close friend, or one of his associates who got some share certificates that were used as collateral for the loan. And then they were coming behind in offsetting the loan, and the person who brought the share certificates began to put them under pressure. He said, look, my uncle or my brother who holds the share certificates wants his certificates back now. Her. And my friend just didn't have where to get the money from. So he said it became a huge source of worry for him, to the extent that he said one night his wife woke him up. Woke him up and asked if he was okay. You know why? He was talking in his dream, and he was punching the calculator in his dream. He was under so much pressure, he was, doing that in his dream, and he was muttering some things to himself. So his wife had to wake him up. Hello, darling. I hope you're okay. Is everything okay? Well, when you've gone through an experience like that, you tell yourself, you know what? I'm not going to kill myself. So the tendency is for you to be afraid and to make a bold move the next time. But you know what happened for my friend? Eventually, they paid off the money. Yes, it was tough. Yes, it stretched them. But they paid off the money, and they were able to erect a building on it. The fact that it was tough is history. The property has been theirs over the years. They were able to move to a new level. So, you may have experienced something like that. Maybe for you, at the end of the day, the venture didn't even turn out well. Maybe it resulted in some big losses for you. But let me ask you, other than taking bold moves, taking calculated risks, attempting great things, what other option do you have to be able to achieve greatness and to see your dreams fulfilled? You really have no option. You attempt nothing, you get nothing. You remember the popular saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, I want to encourage you to not be afraid of this stretching process. I understand that the brain, when it has been stretched, never returns to its former position. In other words, those tough experiences leave you better than you realize. They leave you better. They help you to reevaluate your vision. They help you to reorganize your values, to define what is actually the most important in your life, so that you can devote your life to those things. So it's not always a bad ending. If you are persistent, then ultimately you will break beyond your current level. I want to encourage you to not always play it safe. When you always play it safe, you are not safe. I tell people there is no security in security, because that's what some people are after. That's all they're after. Security. I want job security. I want this security. But there is no security in security. The people who make bold moves, who take the risks, ultimately control our world. They're the ones who literally create the future. You can choose not to live your life as a reaction. You can choose to act, not to react. And it will definitely happen. when you come to the position where you seize the initiative, you take bold action, you don't wait for things to happen, you make them to happen. Someone by the name Sherwood Eddy said, faith is not trying to believe something regardless of the evidence. Faith is daring to do something regardless of the consequence. Interesting. Faith is not daring to believe something regardless of the evidence. So when we say have faith, believe, it doesn't mean, oh yes, you should now be completely unrealistic. No. It means that you should face the reality. The reality is you don't have enough money. The reality is you don't have enough connections in high circles. Okay? The reality is you don't have a university degree or qualification. That's the reality. However, faith dares to act, okay, regardless of the consequences. That's the point. Regardless of the consequences. Okay, let me tell you about a friend of mine who wanted a job. He sat down, he drafted an application for employment, had several copies of them and put them in his briefcase and walked out of the house. And then he was moving around and saw the kind of a company that he wanted in and walked in. Told the receptionist that he wanted to see the managing director. So the receptionist asked, what for? Do you have an appointment? He said, well, I don't have an appointment, but I want to see the managing director because I want to be employed by this organization. Now, you guys cannot afford to miss me. So the receptionist said, hold on, sir. Went into the managing director. The managing director said, okay, if he's so confident of himself, let him come in. He went in. So the managing director listened to him and said, okay, no problem. Bring in your application tomorrow. He just opened his briefcase, said, I have the application here. Actually, how should I address it? To the managing director, the man said, yes. So he addressed it and handed over the application to him. The man read through and said, this is good. Okay then, come for your interview tomorrow. My friend said, you know what, sir? I'm ready for the interview now. Interview me right now. I'm ready. The man said, okay, no problem. Interviewed him and said, you know what? Just hold on a few minutes for us. We'll give you your letter of employment. You have a job here. He resumed the next day at his job. Can you imagine that? Now, you can sit down at home and tell yourself, oh, they say there are no jobs anywhere. There are no vacancies anywhere. Oh, this is the rate of employment. Oh, they said so number of millions of people are unemployed, don't have a job. It's okay. You can sit down, believe the statistics and stay there. This guy walked out, took a bold, I'm telling you, that is limit breaking. I mean, you break the barriers that want to keep you where you are or where you have been. So I want to encourage the viewer that it's time for you to make that bold move. It's time for you to do something that you have never done before. Let me quote also from Philip Brooks. He said, do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men. Do not pray for tasks equal to your power. Pray for power equal to your tasks. Wow. In other words, don't try to keep your goals small in order to make yourself comfortable or to make it easy for God to help you. You need to make the goals big. Then you now pray for the capacity. You know, I remember the illustration that I've shared here several times about the young